Knicks versus Pistons Game 2 analysis. We all saw the Knicks take over in the fourth quarter to give themselves the win. So what adjustments should the Pistons make in order to give themselves a shot to win Game 2? I want to start by breaking down some film so you guys can see one of the issues that the Pistons were having. The Knicks game plan was one, OG, fight over every single screen, do not let Cade open, and even still, we're going to send a second defender at him so that he cannot get in the paint and get easy layups or pass out to his teammate. Here's a double team that happened in the fourth quarter where Cade turned the ball over. First, you could see OG is about to fight over that screen. It doesn't matter. But you could see right behind him is Cat. As you see, OG fights over the screen hard, and Cat is right there to double team and at least guard him in case OG is not able to get over. You could see Brunson is lurking over there too. Even though Brunson is technically, guarding Tim Hardaway Jr., there's a lot of space in between THJ and Cade. He is making sure that he keeps an eye on Cade so he can potentially cut down the middle and give a double team on Cade if OG can't get over. At least that's how I see it. So Cat gets all up in his face and Cade tries to throw over him and get out of the sort of double team because OG's a little bit behind there. But the problem is Cade can't really see. And instead of throwing that way, he should have thrown to Tim Hardaway Jr., who's kind of wide open over there. The thing is, I don't know if Cade saw Tim Hardaway Jr. because he was being swarmed. That is the issue. And that is something that comes with experience and something that he will learn. So I'm not blaming Cade, but he should have passed to Tim Hardaway Jr. in this situation, who I think could have gotten the ball cleanly. Worst case scenario, Brunson would have tapped it out of bounds and they would have still had the ball. So this is something where I saw Cade just kind of get stuck in the double team and he would pass in the opposite direction of which I think he should have passed. I'll give you one more example. Here's OG again fighting over the screen, making sure he stays on Cade no matter what. And look who's lurking right behind there, watching closely. That is Mitchell Robinson. As you can see, Cade drives on the play, and OG is right on top of him. And Mitchell Robinson, look at the stance he's in. He is ready for it. Now, this is the situation where Cade should have actually passed instead of driving the ball and passed to Isaiah Stewart because he's wide open. Mitchell Robinson is on top of him. Isaiah Stewart would have caught the ball and probably passed to Ron Holland in the corner or drove it or did something else. So instead of driving on this double team, which was going to be impossible for Cade to get a clean look at, he should have passed the ball to Isaiah Stewart. Even if he doesn't, even if we say he still goes through with the drive, as you could see here, Ron Holland is a little bit wide open. Again, Jalen Brunson's lurking, and Jalen Brunson could have easily got a hand on it and poked it out of bounds, but then it would have been Pistons ball. And I don't know if this pass would have been able to necessarily get through, like I said, if he had instead dished it off to Ron Holland, but I think there was at least an opportunity. I think it was clear if he's going up against Mitchell Robinson like this, he's probably going to get blocked. So number one adjustment the Pistons need to make is set better screens and make sure Cade does not have a double team. They did set good screens, I'm not saying they didn't, but they need to force the screens to make sure that OG gets off of Cade. Now, OG is an incredible defender, and I picked the Knicks in 5, so I don't expect the Pistons to be able to get OG off of Cade completely, but they have to do a better job of forcing his hand to go to another defender. Like, there was too many times where Cade was just swarmed. The real adjustment they need to make is really what happened in the fourth quarter. We can adjust Cade, getting better shots and all that kind of stuff, but the 21-0 run is an adjustment that they need to make, but it may be something they have to do in the offseason. Now, a 21-0 run is crazy. Like, you could tell it was their first playoff game. It was, so apparent. With 10 minutes left, or rather 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Dennis Schroeder hits a layup. And that's the last time they score until 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the quarter when Malik Beasley hits a three-point jump shot. They went 5 minutes without a single basket. And this is why I said Knicks in 5 and experience matters in the playoffs because, again, you saw one team that knew time and score and how to make the important plays and make clutch plays down the stretch. Jalen Brunson's probably going to win Clutch Player of the Year. And so I expected that to happen. But the Pistons have to do a better job of understanding, okay, the Knicks are going to go on their runs, especially at home. You cannot get rattled by that. It wasn't just that the Knicks were making shots. It was clear that the Pistons looked confused, like they weren't sure what to do, and they were getting overwhelmed. And that's kind of the whole point of experience. But because they can't obviously gain experience without having experience first, Again, I do still think the Knicks are going to win in 5. But what could they do to win game 2 besides adjusting the Cade shots and getting him better open looks and getting him off double teams? I think you got to rely on the veteran guys more because, especially on the road, they've been in this situation. When you're at home, it's a little different. The younger guys could play a bit better because you got the crowd going behind them. But Tobias Harris was playing very well in the first half. I don't remember what Tim Hardaway Jr. finished the game with, but like Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, they have to kind of take over the game in the second half. Now, Cade has to close it out for them, right? Like if Cade's not going crazy, it's going to be hard for them to win no matter what. But they need to settle down the young guys. Because if I remember correctly, Tobias Harris only had like 3 points in the second half. That cannot happen. I also feel like they need to get Jalen Duren involved more. Now, I know they were trying to more, and also with Cade being double team and him and the Jalen Duren connection was obviously being interrupted because Cade was constantly getting double teamed. But they got to figure out another way to get him more involved because he is so important to them winning, and he also gives them an advantage. Like, sure, the Knicks have size, and Mitchell Robinson is a veteran in this league. He will be able to block shots, rim protect, get offensive rebounds, do all those things, be a lob threat. But Jalen Duren can also do the same thing, and I felt like we did not see enough of that in the first game. Like, if you're going to double team, or if they're going to have Cade double team and stuff like that, then you need Jalen Duren to assert his dominance, to take the pressure off Cade so that they can't double team him necessarily every time, and then Cade will get better looks. Again, the Pistons did not play poorly in the first 3 quarters. They played very well. They held in there. Like, they were holding their own. And so, like, that's why it's kind of hard to make an adjustment video for them because there are always things you could do better. And like I said, the clear obvious ones are the double teams on Cade and Jalen Duren getting involved more and stuff like that. But the experience thing is something that you literally can't adjust for. It's something they just have to learn through doing it. And so I would expect them to not let the Knicks go on a 21-0 run again. If Cade is on, though, if Cade is, dropping 40, gives them a great chance to win because, again, then it opens up the floor for everybody else. Kind of the way I said Jalen Duren being dominant opens up the floor for Cade. It's the same way other way around. So, and I'm not saying they don't have a shot to win game 2. They definitely do. I would still pick the Knicks, but these are the adjustments I would make if I were the Pistons.